Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Black Light Show. This is Ashiki Ajamu on Jams Radio. Today, we're going to talk about a subject that I came up with. This idea I came up with out of nowhere. It just came to me like an epiphany. So, I've been listening to a lot of people talk about economics and Black economics and how much money Black people spend each year on products or on the things that Black people buy. So I came up with an idea. I have a little background in economics. So what I came up with an idea was, what if 1 million Black people put up $100 and then we all put it in a pot together? That means that we just raised $100 million. With that $100 million, I'm looking for us to take that $100 million and give it to each and every Black person in America. There's a total of like 46 million Black people in America. So if we do the math, that comes out to what? 92, we'll say about $92 million. So right there, every Black person in America can get $2 million. Right there, we've just paid for ourselves out of poverty, as well as we've just put ourselves into a wealth class that now we have the money to pay for our lives. You don't need Section 8. You don't need, let's say, food stamps, because you could pay for all that with the money you have. Say, for instance, if you want to live in a better neighborhood, you can do that now. You can build your own house. A lot of people come up with the idea that Black people, if they got the money for reparations, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Some people would just give it right back to the powers that be. And in some cases, they might be so. In other cases, they might not be so. It might be a situation that we have these finances now that we've never had, these funds, that now we could live a better life, make better decisions. Yeah, like anyone with money, they'll make stupid decisions, drinking and driving, maybe drug overdoses, and other things that could come with that. At the same time, that's not the point of this. The point of this is economically, how can we as Black people rise up out of our situation? The situation is at hand that some people predict that by 2050, all Black people will be powerless and have no money, and the other groups like the Hispanics, the Asians, and the whites will overpower us as a people, and we'll be worse off than what we already are as a people in the world today. So we have to do something about that. And what is it that we could do about that? Either we could look at it from two different perspectives. What I'm looking at is raising the $46 million for every Black American that has a birth certificate that says that I am Black. You know, that's to prove that you are a Black person. That's one. Or if you say that I'm a naturalized Black citizen, meaning to say some of these people have been in the country for years and they are Black and they recognize themselves as Black. So we have to take that into account, that that is a part of that 46 million when we talk about Black people. And what that entails is that when we take either $12 per individual at a household. I have a household of 5, so that means that it'll be $60 that we put into this pot, and every other Black family decides to put in that pot till we reach 46 million. Then each and every one of us can get $1 million as a Black person. My other plan is that we, as a people, just put that $100 in. If we have 1 million people put in that $100, that equates to $100 million. We can pay out the $2 million per person, each individual. So that means that children to the elderly will all get their money from this. I suppose we'll put it in a trust or some type of account that it adds up, maybe some type of savings account. So interest could be added to it, and multiple accounts, because FDIC only protects your money up to a certain amount. So we have to have that money secured, because it's going to equate to a lot of money, plus the interest that accumulates over time as we put it in. That's going to add up to more money. But the focus will be, if we get the million of us to put in that $100 into this account, then therefore we're looking for that payout once we reach, let's simplify it, that 92, or that 92 million. Once we get that, we can pay out everybody, or we can simplify it and keep it going. Once we reach the 46 million, we pay out that million, everybody still keeps it going, and we keep paying ourselves, and we keep it going, that we never end that momentum of that growth, because once we do it once, we could do it again, and it just multiplies as we pay ourselves and pay ourselves tremendously outside of debt to America, or debt to the world, or to anybody of that matter, or any system of that has been created to enslave the mindsets of people through the construct of economics. So we as a people could take that and empower ourselves. The funds that we have, just 1 million of us at $100 could get us to $100 million. And that could be done simply at the tax season. There's for sure 100 million of us that is going to pay taxes this year. And if we say, hey, when I get that money back, I want to just put $100 into this account with Jams Radio. Forget it, with Jams Radio. And then Jazz Radio is just going to take that money as it accumulates. When we hit our $46 million, we pay out every single Black person in America that could prove on their birth certificate that they were born with their birth certificate as a Black person. And right there, that's a done deal. Everybody's been paid out. And then we could do the system again as many times as we want, but make sure that payout is done. And then with some of the remaining funds, we could look at developing our own things that we create culturally, meaning to say, we could develop our own amphitheater where people come, and if they're into music, they can still do their music. Doesn't matter how rich you are, you just love the music itself and love your artistry and putting that out. Or if you want to do some architectural things, you could do those things and really make your dreams happen in reality just by us gaining this inner capital. It's not like it's not a investment type of deal. It's an investment into us. The only way that we're going to get the help out here is by us first helping ourselves. We cannot depend on any group of people to come forth and say, I'm going to help you when they have to help their own people as well. And that's just the reality that we live in. Only we can help ourselves out of our situations. I can no longer look at um, the systems and the governments and the religious groups to say like, hey, well, you guys are going to do something good for the people. And the reason why I say that is because look at all this time that has passed. Look at all this money that has gone through people's hands. And still look at our neighborhoods as Black people where we grow up, look at how we're treated in this world. And the reason why we're treated this way is because of finances. Because economically, they always put out statistics, they, meaning the media or some group that has studied something biasly to say, hey, well, you guys are at the bottom of the economic list and you are the poorest of them all, although you spend $1 billion plus of your money that you earn or get any way, any shape, how to buy material things out here in society. Yes, it is true that when you go to the store and there's someone that's outside of your race that owns that business and don't live in your neighborhood or in your city, their tax dollars go out of their neighborhood and back into their community. That is true, and that goes for everyone. Even that goes for wealthy Black people that do own a business and then they leave their city to go to the suburbs. Those monies and funds still go out to that community, rather, and it doesn't get recirculated into Black businesses because we as Black people haven't really established ourselves as corporate owners. And that's really the difference when you look at economics. If we would say European structures of business on the corporate level is where they are beating us as a people, because you have to look at it from this way. When you talk about corporate dollars, now you're talking about millions of dollars. Where we're talking about mom and pops, we're talking about struggling dollars, what you came out of your pocket or what your family struggled and put together and funded you for your dream of success the best that you can. And these corporate giants are gobbling us up because they have money and they could be selling chicken and you selling chicken. But the major difference is they've came with a corporate structure and a corporate mindset, meaning that they're out to hire more people. And by them hiring more people, that is just more jobs into their system, more franchises, more of everything. And that's what makes the European business structure different than what we know as a people of just regular business, whether it may be at the most LLC to just our minimum sole proprietorship, meaning that you own it. But going back to the subject at hand, what is important here is the economic growth of us. We don't necessarily have to look at the corporate structure or the way that businesses are structured to look at what we need to do. So what we truly need to do is look at how we can come together and put these funds for us. It doesn't matter if you put that $100 or more. The goal is to reach that $46 million as quick as possible. The faster we reach that goal of that 46 million, we can begin the process of paying each one of us out that $1 million right there. And then we could up it up to say like, look, we hit that million mark. Let's do it again real quick. Once I get that million, I'll get that $100 to you right away, man. And then bam, right there, you getting paid out another million. And then we do it again, and then that's another million. and then another million. The quicker we do it, before you know it, within a month time, we done paid out ourselves upwards to $4 million. And that could be done in a year or less. So that's what we have to do, is look at ourselves and look at our current conditions and look at really what's going on in the world. And what's going on in the world, when you look at it from not a color on a race, but a race in terms of a run. We know for the most part that we as Black people are very athletic. We got the rhythm, we got the speed, we have everything that it takes to win and be successful. At the same time, we have to look at the race that we are up against the other groups, no matter it's a European or no matter it's Asian, no matter it's an actual person that is Hispanic. And it's nothing against those groups or those people, but what we have to do is look at us as a people. Who are we and where we stand in this race? When we look at it from American economics point of view, we always see, oh, well, the Black people are at the bottom, they're spending the most, they just can't get it together. And no matter what, they'll never be able to have it that they're a part of the system of having wealth. So what we have to do is change that mindset. And by changing that mindset is by simply showing people something simple. 1 million of us put up $100. That's $100 million. And from there, we could pay each other we could pay out $2 million for every single Black person in America. That is $46 million times 2. That comes out to 92 million. And then we just pay it out. So that's what we really have to concentrate on, is really just doing it. It's not nothing to talk about. It's not nothing to rob about. It's not nothing to ask for these reparations, which we deserve, but they're willing to pay out every other group for reparations because we haven't made any demands because we're so assimilated. And when you are a group of assimilated people, you can't really relate to one another as a whole because your problems aren't the same. Until we have the same problem, which is one problem, is our economic freedom. We have to buy ourselves out of the system that we are in, and you have freedom. As I've learned by meeting so many millionaires, as I traveled, I found out one thing. What makes them free is their money. No matter what denomination it is in, they are able to travel, they are able to live the life that they want to live because they just have money. Money in the system that we live in is your freedom. And let me tell you one thing too, psychologically, by us all having the same $2 million or $1 million in our pocket, it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore but what you want to do with your life. That right there alone will stop a lot of problems and issues that we have developed over time because of the way that the systems have put their propaganda into it, as well as some of the mindsets that we've been taught through television, church, radio, you name it. It's just that money will change our lives for the better. I've never met anybody that said, hey man, me having money was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Really, everybody that I met that had money said, hey, if I ever had a problem, I'll get rid of that problem easily because I don't have to deal with that person. I just don't have to pick up the phone. I just don't have to see them. I don't have to do anything. If I owe somebody some money, I just pay them. That's not a problem. If you want to go with the credit system, like a lot of these other groups and people do, because we're in America, think about it. You don't have any credit problems when you have $1 million in your hand. What are we talking about? What is it to discuss? So when we take on that concept of saying, you know what, Sheik is right. If 1 million of us put aside $100 million, therefore, we just took ourselves and bought ourselves out of this mental slavery that we call ourselves being in. You think about it. Since some people that are Black look at work as a form of slavery. Think about it. With $1 million, you don't have to work. You can live your life the way you want to, simple or expensive. But keep in mind, the quicker we get the first million off, we take that $100 and put it in again, and then you got another 2. And then we put it in again, you got 3. Put it again, we got 4. Put it again, we got 5. And just simple mathematics, it goes and grows. And not to be selfish to ourselves, but we could give this same system to other people like us with that same mindset of taking their group, their nation, their people out of poverty, buying themselves that way out, because it's not going to happen by some government saying, hey, well, you know what? The way that people were treated, the way that people are screwed over is just the way that it is. So what we could do is we could shift the situation that we are in economically over to a point that we have the leverage and we have the power and we have ownership of companies, because it's very simple. With money, then you could buy anything and you could own anything, just long as it still operates as it operates successfully. Let me explain something simpler to you in economics. Now, most white, or I will say European success, is off the corporation side that we would say. So if you look at a corporation like McDonald's, and you say, hey, well, they have so many stocks that they're offering. We, as a group of people, now could come along and say, you know what? We want to buy all of the stocks from McDonald's. Now, we own the McDonald's, but you know what? Since you guys are operating so well, we'll let it be, but we have the ownership and just pay us out our dividends, or we have just that ownership to say like, hey, we own McDonald's now, ha ha ha. So that's one aspect as we could look at it. And there are quite a few companies out there that does that. There is a Hispanic company that owns, what is it, Nabisco. So when that your Oreo cookies, it's a Hispanic company that owns it. So every time you eat your little Oreo cookies, a group of Hispanics that own it, that bought all the shares, and now they own the company. Now you're supporting the Mexicans that one group of people does it like, but every time they go to the store, they don't even realize that they're supporting a group of people that they don't even like. So there you go. That's the true form. That, do your own research and find out for yourself how many groups that are outside of America owns American companies, a lot of shares in it. If they don't outright own it, then they own enough shares in it that they're getting enough from it. And then it's not just having those shares that just sit there, but it's also about having preferred shares or shares that that create some dividends for us as a people. So not just that you own something and it's like a Bitcoin, you have to sell it in order for it to be worth something, instead of just investing to that company, and as that company makes profits, then it shares it with you and it carries on, still hires people, and there's no problem. Let them be who they are and let them grow like we should grow. Um, what I just look at it as that once we come up with these funds, we can make a real difference in ourselves and our community as a whole. Now, with these funds, you don't have to stay where you at. With these funds, like I said, you could go right ahead, buy your plot of land, get your house built, get your mansion built, live the life you want to live. If you want to just go buy you a place by the water with your family, you want to be in a nice neighborhood, or if you want to come together, we build a school um, for our children, that as well as colleges, because I really don't understand why these HBCUs, why they haven't offered all Black people in America some form of education, whether it's a scholarship for us to go there and we pay it back as we get into the work field. But I've been thought about that, and I asked myself why, and I understand why, because they just like every other university out to get your money, and you go to work and you work, and either no school tells you how to be a true entrepreneur, build real wealth. They just talk about everybody else wealth that they've built for themselves, and how now you could go take their degree and work for that company. So a side joke to that is like, hey, let's come together, put these money, put these ducats, put these monies, put these ends down, and then let's make this thing happen. Only we could buy ourselves out of freedom. Imagine if the slaves at that concept back in the day, because there was plenty of people that did buy themselves out of slavery as well as their families out of slavery. So those people had that mindset that nothing's going to hold me back. Nothing's going to hold us back. And you know what? It's our time. It's our time to go out there and get ours. Come together, put our money together, and make this happen. We have the power. We have the people. We have everything that we need. We don't have to worry about what a politician says or what a politician does, because, or any policy, because no policy can stop that, or else it has to be broadened to everyone. See, that's what everyone has to understand, that they can't enact a policy on a group of people that wants to come together to buy themselves out of a situation. Who has a policy about that? That means that so many associations have to come down. That means that even Wall Street has to come down. Isn't that the idea, that we invest into this, these futures, these stocks? Some of this stuff really doesn't exist. Really, in reality, you're just putting it down and saying that it exists, but the deal or the product really hasn't been made, shipped, or any of that. You're just investing into something that really doesn't exist. It's just a hope, and you hope that it goes through. Because let me explain something to you with the stocks. Say, for instance, if they are making, like right now, let's say microchips, and there's a big old tornado or a big old natural disaster where the source of the materials come from. Therefore, the company that makes those chips cannot make those chips because the natural disaster prohibited them from getting access to the raw material to develop and make this. So therefore, all those stocks that you paid down for Can't happen. So therefore, they're going to miss the date of making this happen. And the companies that has the contracts to buy it will renege. They will both renege on it because you can't make it happen. So therefore, what happens to your stock? It plummets. You lose, and hopefully you didn't try to sell it when this transaction happened because you just lost, and somebody else is going to try to buy it because it just hit a loss and wait for it to recover and bounce back. You know what? Who really has time for all that when we could just simply take that $100 that we was gonna spend on some gym shoes or spend on the clothes that we was gonna buy this weekend when we got a whole closet full of clothes, fresh gear that we only wore a few times, when we could say like, hey, let me take that $100, put it down for this program because I'm investing into myself first, and I'm investing into my family second, and then I'm investing into my people third. See, so when you just look at it from that way, we cannot lose. Like I said before, it is our time. It is our time to take back it all. If you want to make a difference in yourself, a difference in this time, this is not a movement. This is a shift in our mindset. That's what this is. I'm done with the movements because what happens when things start moving, when people die down and all that, and people get relaxed and all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a shift in our mindset just to say, well, this simple $100, when we reach that 43, 46 million dollars, that we go pay that out to each and every one of us, that can show on our birth certificate that we're Black and we're alive and we took that, and then we're going to do it right back again and make it happen time and time again. What more can they say? Before you know it, you'll be flying in a jet. You'll be jet setting. You'll be doing a life. You'll be past this MTV lifestyle or whatever they have going on in the media. You will be the real. And that's what it's about. It's about being real. Television has made so much fake real. And you know what I mean. You could just look at people and now they're representing the fake as the real. But fake can never be real. You can never have a fake orange. It tasted, have the real taste, fibers, natural sugars, and everything that was naturally created from Earth as well as within the universe to make that. Mankind cannot make that. It can emulate it, it can imitate it, but it cannot ever be that because that is original. And that's what it's about. It's about being original again. Be real again. Be organic. Be real. Be alive. Forget all that fake shit. Be yourself. Get your own mind together. Let's get this money, put it together, pay ourselves out of whatever situation that comes our way because we got the money, the finances to buy ourselves out. We don't have to worry about what other people are doing, what other people have done, because we have to worry about what we are doing and what we're going to do. If you don't step forward on this, then you're just stagnant. You're just staying stuck. And when we look at ourselves as a people, that's not where we want to be. We don't want to be in the situation that we currently are as a people as a whole. Individually, we could take care of some of us could take care of ourselves, but when groups of people speak about us, they speak about us as a people. They speak about us as a whole, just as if when we speak about other people, we speak about them the same way as a whole, no matter what group we're talking about. It's the same thing. So what we have to look at is how we're perceived by the world. We pull this off, then we could take care of ourselves, take care of our families. And remember, your child will get that $1 million. And by them being so young, you can put that in a trust. So when they do turn of age of 18, 21, maybe later on to probably 30, that money will start to accumulate and the interest will start to compile. And when they get that max payout at whatever age I just mentioned, then they've come out a winner. And because the reason why I say that is because if I know if I had $2 million, I'll be able to take care of my family as well as my wife having $2 million. That's $4 million. And then with our kids having those $1 million that we don't even ever have to touch in our lives, and that money compiles for them until they get of age, we'll be able to pay for their school and we'll be able to pay for any and everything that is needed for them to live a successful life and be great people on this earth. And that's all that it's about, that we are great people. No matter what someone says through their propaganda that is on television or that's on the radio, that someone's been paid to look a certain way or act a certain way, you must understand we are great people. We've done great things. We've survived tremendous things. When you just talk about slavery itself, the stages of that onto its present day, for us to survive that and still go on, move forward, and still maintain, and still just have that pride in oneself of who we are. We are very great, prideful people, and don't lose who you are to be who you not. So what I say to that is, let's get focused on this economics, building this capital for ourselves, putting it in. Only thing we have to do is each one of us, 1 million of us, put up $100, then we've reached $100 million. Or if someone just wants to say, hey man, I just got a little bit extra, I want to put a G towards it. The goal is that we reach that $46 million as quick as possible so that we can pay out real quick and everybody gets that. And then everybody just put in that $100 and then bam, we paying out again. That's 2 million to you right then, that quick off of that. So that's what we have to get focused on. Like I said, it was an idea that when I started analyzing it and putting it together, I said, wow, that is amazing how the universe, God, or however you want to say it, came to me and said, hey, let's start off with $12. And from $12, I have 5 people in my family. That could be $60 right there. That goes in, but our true goal is to take that $60 with everybody pitch in, and then we raise that $43 million, $46 million, and we pay all ourselves out $1 million as a people, and take ourselves out of any situation that we in, because we're not impoverished people. To be poor is just a moment in time. You don't necessarily have to be poor forever, and that's a mindset. Impoverishment is a mindset. To not have is a mindset, because we survived slavery. What did we have then? So when we're out of the legal terms of slavery and into the societal slavery, what is too much of the difference? Because once they got your mind, they got your body, and they have all the rest. So that's what we have to do, as I said, make a shift in our mindset in terms of just strictly economics for oneself. How can we put this money together, pay it out, and then we tripled up? We just hit our own lottery. We just paid ourselves out. Yeah, it may work out that the government might say, hey, well, you guys are making so much money right here. We're gonna tax you guys on it. You know what? Fine, tax it. Or let us have it as a gift to ourselves. However you want it. Look, we need to get ours and not wait on other people and not care about what other people will have to say. Because let me tell you this, there's going to be your own people, some of your own people that's going to be against you, because it's going to be your own, some of your own people that do have wealth, that don't have wealth, that do have money, that don't have money, that's just going to say, hey, I don't believe that everybody should get this type of money. And then I'm going to say to that, well, you know what? You're going to get a million, and every single body is going to have that. So it's not going to make a difference whether you are with us or not. That money is there for us as a people. And it doesn't make sense for us to go ahead and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and build some buildings so then we can segregate ourselves and do all that. You know what? That's what the municipalities are for. That's what the government is for, to build all that, because once we got money in our hands, all that don't matter. You don't really care about let's say what we grew up with is the community centers that they shut all down, and now they're trying to build all back. You know what? With that type of money, you don't care about no community center, because you had the money to take your kids to wherever they need to go, and you have the money to pay for a babysitter to spend time with your significant other, and then as well as to have someone pick up your kids and then bring them back to you. So then if they're doing some sports, or if you just too busy that, hey, I need somebody to do some extra things for me, you have the money to pay somebody to do extra things for you. And the thing is that you do have those people that's going to be all bougie with finances, because that's just the personality that they have. And then you're going to have some people that do have the mindset of, hey, this is a one opportunity, opportunity that I never had in my life, and I'm going to cherish this moment, and I'm going to do what's right for myself, for my family, and for my people. Because $1 million could go like that. Once you spend one penny, it's not a million anymore. It's just real reality. And that's what people have to think about. Just because you see $1 million, people love to have those dreams, but it's not about those dreams. It's about realities. And a reality is that we could do this. The reality is our time to do this. Reality is that the Congress is not going to relinquish, let's say, the reparations, and all these cities saying that they're going to pay reparations, and all this is a real joke, because it's our US Congress who has to say, hey, I will pay you guys out $1 billion and you all become millionaires. No, they do not want to do that, because they make billions of dollars by us being in our situation. It's just like when you look at Africa. For, we'll say, 30 years, the majority of countries in Africa have been independent. Now, trillions of dollars, millions of dollars have gone down into Africa, but what happened? The actual people at the top have taken it away from the other people, and now their own people are struggling, and they really don't care, because they segregated themselves by having the haves and the haves nots. So what we could do is we could end all that by saying, let's put that money up where our mouth is, like we say. Put your money where your mouth is. Throw up that $100. Put it aside. We set up the account. Everybody put that money into the account. We be transparent. Everybody knows the number, knows where we at. Every single, let's put it this way. Every single Friday, we tell how much money we have accumulated to pay ourselves out of slavery. That's what it's all about. We need those funds to buy our freedom. $1 million will buy you some form of freedom. And then if we take that same concept that we did when we get that $1 million, take that $100, and that adds up to another $1 million for you. And then we do it again, another million for you. I can't say it enough. It makes sense. And if it don't make sense, it can't make dollars. And if it don't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So that's what we have to look at. How can we come together and make this happen? Because we don't need leaders. That's what I hear all the time. Oh, well, they're looking for the next person to lead. We don't need nobody to lead us. We can lead ourselves. We made it this far, especially our generation. Maybe the older generation need a leader to tell them when to go to the bathroom or to tell them when to march down the street, but we don't need no leaders. Our generation is our time. We own this, we run this, we in position. This is our focus, this is our mission, because we are all we got. Ain't nobody gonna come and save us because they haven't even saved themselves. So when you look at it from that way, have any other group saved themselves? Can you say like, oh, well, I saw this other group and they're doing way better? No, you only have small segments of people that come together and have done what we're talking about, put their money where their mouth is, and conglomerately, they've all come together and paid out each other one lump sum just by probably having, let's say, so many people put in so much money that accumulates real quick. So what we're doing is we're looking at the volume. We're not looking at that, oh, well, let's have a small group of the athletes. Yeah, the athletes, these people have money. Why don't we just have the athletes pay for the way out? No, why don't we pay our way out together? That say like, okay, well, the pressure isn't on the athletes or some actor, actress, or some host, that it's on us. That it's us to say like, you know what, I'm gonna pay out, I'm gonna pay into myself, I'm gonna pay into my family, I'm gonna pay into my people, and it just cost me $100, and our goal is just to reach that 46 million. We pay out that 46 million, then I can do it out. Long as this man is true to what he say, what? It ain't about no loss, because I'm gonna tell you this, we ain't gonna lose. I'm gonna tell you this, it ain't even going down that direction. It's all about winning here. It's our time. You can't have a what if something go wrong mindset when it's your time. When it's our time, it's gonna come through and we're gonna win regardless. Nothing's gonna stop us from winning. Even if I was to die and the process is still in place, we're still gonna win. My family wins, my people wins. You know, I don't have to be there when it happens, but I know I could be there. I could be there in the mindset of that we got this mission done. And if I do make it, that we get this payout, I tell you one thing, we gonna be paid forever and ever. We ain't gotta worry about nothing else. You wanna talk about wealth, that will come, and we will be wealthy, that nothing can stop it, just because that momentum that will be built off of that, what is that million people, that will start that momentum that can't be stopped until we stop, until we decide to say something stupid like, I'm not gonna put that $100 in that I just got. You know what? It wouldn't matter, because the momentum of the other people that started it, and it will keep it going for those ones who want to be super selfish. They don't want to give us a simple $100 to something after they got $1 million off of will be stupid as all hell fuck. But we have people that are stupid as all hell fuck because look at some of the things that our people do to one another without the influence of another group. So we just have to look at that. A lot of that shit will end once we have ends in our pocket, money, ducats, greenbacks, however you want to put it, cabbage. You know, once we have that in our pocket, then that would change a lot of things. If healthcare, for instance, a lot of Black people, we have health problems. Right there, whatever your insurance don't cover, you can pay out of your pocket. If you need, hey man, if you need one of these organs, then shit, you could just buy you one and don't have to worry about your insurance denying you Medicaid, Medicare, saying that they're just not going to pay for it, pay for the services. You have the money. And then if we're able to do this, that $1 million, like I said, will multiply by the months, by the years, as we keep on putting in on this. And it's nothing that can stop it once we get going, except for us. We are the only ones that could take us out of this situation. We're the only ones that could do something about it. Yeah, other people have put us in a situation, and that's just the truth to the matter of what it is. But I had the privilege of reading a book. I forgot the name of it, but this gentleman just had broke himself out of let's say a prison. And when he broke himself out of prison, he said, no matter what, I'm not going back. They can kill me, it doesn't matter, but I'm not going back because that's my freedom. Freedom is everything. And what gives you that freedom is money. I really enjoy when I'm around wealthy people that have way more money than I have at the moment, way more money than I have right now. And I look at them really enjoying life, really enjoying with their kids, their family, as they get on four-wheelers or jet skis or be on a little yacht or however they're doing it. It just looks so fun, and I just want to experience that myself with my family. So, you know, wouldn't you want to experience that with your family? So we could do that, because we could look at a lot of people are living off of other people's wealth. They're living off of people that maybe sometimes that came from slavery, or they might be living off the wealth of people that did build something, and then they family decide to sell it to another group, and then they have that wealth. They could sit back and don't even really have to work as hard as we've worked all our life to really have really nothing that we could say has really expanded us outside of our scope. And I'll tell you one thing, money expands you outside of your scope. I've met rich people, I've met poor people. I've had the honor and pleasure to meet these people that have shown me that life's about one thing, living. Because if you ain't living, you can't enjoy nothing. So life's about living. The enjoyment part is momentarily, because that's just, you have so much shit to do. Even if you have millions of dollars, you're not just gonna sit there and do nothing. You're gonna have a good time, since they say we as Black people spend money like billions of dollars anymore. Okay, well, let's get this shit together so we can spend in even more money, to even show them, well, how much of a powerhouse, how much of a big spender of a people that we are, you know, and let's get some assets. That's really the difference between the white wealth and the black. It ain't about the cash in your pocket. Really, it's about the assets. And let me break it down simply for you when we talking about assets. The reason why they say that white people have more wealth than black people is simple, is that's because of the assets. If you simply say, well, this white person decided to buy a trailer home. Okay, well, that trailer home costs $50,000 to $60,000, and then they got a few beat up cars on the side of them that equals out. Maybe they have 5 cars that's worth let's say 4,000 each, right there. That's 20,000. That's $60,000 what is it? Trailer home right there. You add that right there, they have $80,000 in assets. And that's what you have to look at. We as a people, we weren't taught that. Well, we as a people was taught to get up every day and go work for somebody or try to open your own business and people support you and you just, that's just the way the life is, and that's the hand that God dealt you. And that's not true for everybody, because not everybody was given that mindset. When you grew up in the suburbs, which I had the privilege of doing as I got older and got a chance to make my own money, then I got a chance and the ability to live out in the suburbs and understand what's the real difference. And the real difference is really the mindset, because you have in the suburbs, you have all nationalities, all groups. The difference is the education, which brings on a different mindset. And with that, then you have the money that comes with the education. So that brings a class and a standard of living that people think that they're better than people that haven't gone that route or achieved that goal of just being able to live there. And I was just there, and I'm in a suburb now is because I have my own business. That's what it is. And so what I'm saying is not everybody can be a business owner, and it's not set out for everybody to be a business owner, because before I was a business owner, I was a worker. I didn't just step up and wake up and be a business owner, because it takes years of learning something, and it just takes that drive just to work for yourself. It is harder than working for someone else, because every single day I have to get up and go hunting and then gather. So it is a real sense of hunting and gathering. For other individuals, they could go to work and then they could be fed like you're in the zoo. So, like when you're in the zoo, you sit back, the animals get fat, they don't really do too much exercising, and then they're just under the control of the zookeepers. And that's just like the management. They're managed by the zookeepers, and then the zookeepers tell them what they can and can't do, and they're locked down mentally. If you let them out the gate, they really wouldn't go too far because they've never really been free. So that's why I chose to venture into being a business owner, because being a business owner gives you some type of freedom. You're not totally free, because you still have policy, you still have the government, and you still have your customers who have to buy your product or utilize your service. Because without you having a good product, without you giving a good service, then nobody's going to use you. And then it's about hiring people, giving other people the opportunity to make a living and pay for their family. So I have to go out there every day and make sure that other people eat too. So it's not just about me eating, it's about other people eating as well, and us eating together. And that's what I'm talking about on this. Let's come together, put this money down, and we can eat together. What's a million of us? That's nothing to 46 million of us. When you just sit down and say like, well, wow, if this message hits 1 million of us and we seriously do this, I open up the account and then I start seeing that money come in, Every single Friday, we get those numbers of what we put out there, what we grew to, and then we say, hey, we reached that 46 million. Everybody, it's time to show them birth certificates. We're gonna have stations at the courthouses so people could just come show their birth certificate. That's a safe place. That's why I mentioned the courthouses, not to lock anybody up or no stupid shit like that. No warrants and no games. We'll think of a facility or something like that. But what we'll do is that you show your birth certificate, take a picture of it, have that on file. You get your check or your direct deposit. It's a done deal. And then that's that. You've been taken care of. From that, we might say, well, automatically, everybody that $100 goes automatically. So yeah, you got paid $1 million, but we're extracting $100 automatically. So then we can do this so it can recycle. So that might be even a better deal than to wait on people to say like, hey, I'm going to reinvest. It might be just better just to say like, you know what, we're just going to take that $100 and yeah, you got just a little bit short of $1 million, 999, whatever. But you know what? We need to do this. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what anybody think about it. We need to do it. Don't think about it in the what if this happens, what if that happens. Think about it as you score. Think about it as you being successful. Think about it as you waking up and you look at your bank account and you said, shit, I just got $1 million down in my bank account. Holy shit, I feel so great. I feel so good. I'm ready to take care of myself. You know, it's that time and it's our time, you know, and I believe in us. I believe in you. I believe we could do this. You know, Jazz Radio, we broadcasting this. And for all the listeners that want to be a part of this, I want to set up the account and then we're going to put this together. And then it's going to be some like a Zelle account or something with some trusted bank and let the bank know what the hell we up to so they can't be shiesty, shady. And we make this happen, be on the up and up, let everybody know where we at each week, how many people that signed up every Friday, and then just be real with it, man. And that's what time it is. Only thing I have to say is bless you, bless our people, and I believe in you, and I believe in us. Let's make this happen. Bless y'all. Much love, respect. Peace.